Welcome to Empowerment Through Intuition. We are talking about manifesting with harmony and spirituality. So, I am Nora Truscello from Intuition. This is, of course, my co-host, Christine Gurganus. Okay, Chris, take it away.
I'm a psychic and a medium and a teacher and a minister. We do it all. Alrighty, we're going to start today a little different than what we normally do. We're going to start with a settling prayer. And
Which we need.
Yes, Nora needs this very badly, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not here to offend anybody, but we're Catholic, so we say the Catholic prayers. I'm going to just say the all-inclusive prayer. We're going to invite the angels in, and we're going to the Holy Spirit in to work with us. God the Father, the Almighty, Christ the Savior, and all of the deities that anybody within the group and with outside the group wants to call their power, their highest power. We invite you in to our heart, body, mind, soul, and spirit to gently observe with us, guide with us, and protect us tonight. We ask for all of our houses, our homes, our animals, our properties to be protected as we go on this spiritual journey together. And we ask you for your guiding light and your guiding protection within us, around us, below us, and in front of us. Put the light up and we shall be lead. We will follow. All for being here with us, all the heavenly realms of angels, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. We thank you. All right. Amen.
Amen. Hey guys, thanks for hanging on. Owen, wise guy, she has told you. Let me see. Mary Lou saying hi to Chris. Michelle, welcome back.
Hi there.
So guys, we really do want to talk about how empowerment through intuition, how manifesting, using harmony with the spirit. So I'm going to leave that to Chris to start, because this was actually Chris's idea for us tonight.
Well, I'm going to explain how the heart, body, mind, soul, and spirit work in conjunction. You guys hear us talking about it a lot. And some people think, okay, it's just what they say. Well, it's not quite just what we say. All right. What happens is if you bring your mind in conjunction with your heart, and your body will follow. And the spirit is within you. And your soul is your little piece of God that's inside of you. So if you've got your heart, your body, your mind, your spirit, and your soul all working together, it becomes like the chakras. It's like a constant flow of energy. You're pulling in the light, you're bringing it in, you're working with it, and you're expelling it out. And you're allowing it to guide you. And you're allowing it to show you which way to go. It's that nagging little voice sometimes that'll say, I don't think you should do that. Might be faster if you went this way. And you're like, but this way's faster. But your way has a little traffic jam. My way doesn't. It's clear. Go ahead, go my way. And you go their way because they're convinced you that, maybe they do have a traffic jam their way. And you hear 5 minutes later on the radio, there's a major backup on 295 South, and you're going, yeah, okay, thanks. And you're weaving their back way all through the back streets to get home. It's a lot like that. I do it whether I'm driving. If it's something major, I manifest if I'm not sure where to go or what to do. I manifest. I'm like, okay, send me directions, please, now. Now we'll be good. And I've never really had to pull over to get the directions. I just hear, go right. Okay. You want to start to get ready to go left? And I'm like, okay, you want to give me a big intersection, a little sign, something so I know where I'm going? So you're going to actually pull this all in. And it's, for me, it could be directions. It could be my career. Which way do I go? How much do I go this direction? How much do I go that direction? It's almost like an instantaneous co-creating and manifestation. So it goes beyond just the normal everyday things that we're asking for, because we're involving the spirit. And the spirit, once you involve the spirit and you hold it tight and you say the prayer and you just listen for the answer, It's going to come to you, and it's going to come to you, and it's going to reverberate through your whole body. And what do I mean by that? It's not like some people get a little shimmer through their body. Other people just get a deep knowing in their stomach going. I started opening the doors, and I didn't even have confidence it was going to go right, but I took a step in that direction and I made a way, and it was like all the doors flew open. Well, that's because that was the track you're supposed to be on. And you just had to set your mind to it, your spirit to it, your body and your heart saying, okay, I can make this change. But if your heart's not in it, it doesn't matter what the change is, it's not going to happen because you've already convinced yourself you don't want it that bad. It's not that important to you. So how do we get our heart, body, mind, soul, and spirit in tune to do the same thing? Well, I always start with a little prayer, whether it be big prayer, little prayer, big problem, little problem, doesn't matter. And I just bring in the energy, and I suck in the breath of white light, and I just pretend God's got his hand right above my head, and he's just pouring all this white spiritual light into my head, and he's saying, it's okay, just take what you need. And I just go, okay, pull it in, see it go all the way down to my toes. I hold it for 5 seconds, and then I release it. And in my mind's eye, if it doesn't come out the same color that I thought it should come in, and if I see it coming out like a dusty gray, I do it a couple more times until it clears. And then I know that whatever was in the way between my understanding between God and what he wanted to say is already removed, whether it was negative Nellies or if it was my own misunderstanding of I know better than you do. I call that helpful Hannah. And God calls it a pain in the ass, I'm sure. So you have to balance things.
Yeah, I do want to throw in that a lot of the meditations this week, when it was not by coincidence, it's actually great. A lot of the meditations this week from the A Search for God material, we're working on making this harmonious connection that Chris is talking about. So those of you who have joined me with it are really probably grasping what Chris is saying.
Because it's part of a meditation, because you're bringing in the spirit. And once you open up that crown chakra and you literally bring in that energy and you push it through your whole body, I call it like a fast flush. I ask God for a fast flush, and it's like whoosh, and he sends this energy through, and it's just like bam, anything that wasn't of him just gets kicked out. And I let it go out my hands, out my feet, and I just ask him, take it. I don't need it. And what you'll find is after you set your heart and your mind and your body to the tune of allowing it to leave instead of holding on to it. I've had people tell me, I don't know how to do it. I'm so used to it. How do I let go? I said, you don't have to let go. You just ask God to help you let go. I said, and what he'll do is he'll put little vacuums on your little hands and little mittens with little vacuums and little vacuums on your feet. And he'll just push the energy through and he'll suck it out. I said, and you'll see little balloons like with negativity, and they just take them up to heaven and they pop them and they change into like little blessings that come down for you.
Basically, you're surrendering your will. And you don't have to know how to do anything. You just have to be willing to have it happen.
You have to get out of your own way.
Mm-hmm.
And
I have to get out of my own way with manifesting computer issues all the time for this program.
Well, I think
I speak it, and what you were saying earlier is our thoughts, our words, are things we are creating, and we joke about it, but even in the joking, we are creating this, we are manifesting it. So this is a great example of negatively affecting yourselves and not intentionally wanting to. You know, I don't want these issues, but I am really the reason they occur because I keep creating them. You know, so it's kind of cool to see where you mess up too.
Well, it's also exciting that if you look back over the past, I don't know how many shows we've done at this point, a year's worth.
Over a year, yeah.
If you look back, every time we go to hit spirituality head on, you know, the computers go bonkers. I mean, mine will go down, yours will go down, something will happen. It's like a guarantee every time. the weather will storm and like our Wi-Fi connection, we'll be sitting right next to the Wi-Fi going, are you really going to do that to me? And it just, you're also pulling in a lot of negativity. That's why we did the protection first. And that's why we're going to continue to do it, because as we get into the higher level spiritual understandings, it's only there to protect us. If you don't like talking to God, I'm sorry. I don't know what other deities and other
In this show, we
religions.
focus on God, so you can plug in who you'd like.
Right.
Can I read this real quick because this is
Sure.
amazing? Aaron put, ladies, I so have ... unusual manifestation that occurred this week. Remember my prayers and manifesting of healing. My biological mother took claim to all the hurt she caused me. She admitted to me that she couldn't be what I needed and that she was sorry and never stopped loving me. I chose to forgive it and let it go. I had my grandmom, her mother, who was what I needed, and now I have Mama Lynn Carson. I realized in 2 weeks I've let go of all the pain and hurt, asked why I wasn't good enough to be loved. I realized I am loved by God Himself, and He sent 2 women to be the moms I need in my life. I am in awe of what's happened in my life. That's beautiful. I got goosebumps. And yeah, you were manifesting healing. And I do remember us saying, not just physical, you got to
Right.
go for the emotional and the spiritual also. And girlfriend, you did it. God bless you.
See,
That's
that
beautiful.
literally, Aaron, is you working with the heart, body, mind, soul, and spirit all together. Like we were trying to tell you, make it a complete package, ask for it all. And a lot of people don't understand why we tell them that when we tell them. But that's exactly why we tell you that stuff, because of when you want a healing, why would you ask for fix my fingernail when I have diabetes? Care about my fingernail? I can live with that.
And I just to throw in real quick, and then I'll let you go right back. A lot of times we think the fingernail is all we have.
Right.
God, the divine, that
Knows everything.
energy knows, yeah, it's not the fingernail, honey. It's the wound that you had when you were 3 years old that you never got over when daddy left you,
Right.
or whatever the situation is. And that's what Chris is saying here. Like we focus on something so minute without seeing the whole picture. So for the miracles, the real miracles is truly surrendering and trusting and just giving it up. This is what I need. It's in your hands. Whatever's blocking it, I surrender. I ask you to take it away. So,
See, Nora does a very direct healing when she does it, and that's what makes her healing so different from mine. She goes in, pinpoints the times, the age, and she deals with that obstacle. Then they move down the road to the next obstacle,
right.
and then she pulls that one apart. And she does it a lot different than I do it. Is the outcome probably the same? I'd say yes.
Yeah. We both have successful releases of entities and people healing.
Right. It's just we do them, we come at them from a different way.
Hmm.
So what I'm trying to get around to everybody is it's going to happen differently for everybody. For Erin, this was a complete heart, body, mind, soul, and spirit healing, because all 5 of her layers were working in harmony. And it's kind of like a DNA strand or the chakras. If you can see the flow of the chakra energy, that's kind of like when you're working from the higher up all the way down through each chakra. And it goes and it goes, and the energy just flows and it fixes everything in its path. And if you think of it that way, it's a lot easier to figure out in your mind. I tell people a lot of time it's like an onion. You're going to have to peel it back layer by layer, age by age, hurt by hurt sometimes.
Hmm.
And it might take more than one session, 1 week, 1 month. It might take a long time before you can go into that point in time and say, okay, I forgive that person. I can get past that now. I can logically in my head and in my heart get past that, and I'm not holding on to any resentment or any anger. And I'll just give you an example from my past. I had some issues that I had to get past with some family members, and they're not even around anymore. So I still had to find a way to heal that when I could just go to the angels and say, "Can you bring them up and we can have this chat?" And they'd be like, "No, do it the other way. It's better for you that way. You don't get so upset. And then we don't have to hear a screaming match." I'm like, "Okay, I got it. We'll do it my way." But my way, the way I was dealing with it, took a long time. Because when you deal with it and it's personal, you could be dealing with grief. You could be dealing with the stages of grief. You could be having anger issues. You
Mhm.
could have resentment. Like what Erin went through, it went, that answer came after years and years of her trying to settle it in her own heart. I'm sure what was going on around her and why it happened, how it happened. And by the way, Erin, they said now that you got the healing that you needed, the weight will go quicker and easier because
I
that
heard the
emotional,
same thing.
they
I
said
heard
don't
the
buy a whole
same
lot of
thing.
clothes because you're not
Yeah,
going to need them.
yeah,
You're
exactly.
going to be a Goodwill shopper for a while.
This leg break was probably the biggest blessing you've ever had.
It
But I
made her slow down.
I want to read two things. Earlier this week, I think it was yesterday, Carolina from Pure Life Essentials, she wrote on our Facebook page, "Hey ladies, here's a quick update. Since day one, I visualized opening my bank account and seeing a balance of exactly $3,000. Well, guess what? God's spirit universe has provided me not will me with not 3,000, not 4,500. No, they took it to a step further, and by the grace of God, I have manifested $5,800. It blew my
Wow.
mind. I mean, I of course put in the work. We discussed the importance of integrity, so I took it seriously. But come on. I did not expect this. Just wanted to share this with you. Don't give up. If you have if you have to make adjustments, make them, and always, always, always say thank you. And that I want to tie into LMS Lisa's question because, yeah, you can adjust. Her question is, if you utter negative words in a moment of frustration or anger, can you take those words back afterwards and cancel out a potentially bad manifestation? Yes. And you can then reinforce, turn it over. God, I'm frustrated. Take this from me. And you direct me. You send down your angel. You send down the light. You show me what path to take. And excuse my frustration. I'm letting it go now because that's adjusting. See, Carolina even said I had to make adjustments. She watched her integrity. She actually said she took it seriously because your integrity is your word, honoring it. So if you're starting to say negative things, you don't want to be honoring those negative things. You want to be honoring positive things. So yes, absolutely, absolutely, without a doubt. Okay, actually, God likes it when you take back the negative, Aaron says. And yeah, I would think so. He's happy that you're paying attention to your power. See,
To your words, and
yeah,
you're
this is
listening to yourself.
this is a huge, huge responsibility we have. And a lot of us don't want to recognize it because if we really recognize the power we have to manifest, we have to take responsibility for the way our life is. So if you're not happy with what's going on in your life and you really believe of the power of manifesting, and you really see how it works, well then if it's not working, it's because of you. You didn't let God in and take control. You didn't turn the wheel over to him. You keep trying to do it all yourself. Now, it's nothing wrong with saying, "Hmm, I'd like to see what did she say, $3,000 in my checking account balance, you know, and look at what she got, 5,800, almost double." Okay, I want to
That's
just
that's
add,
just amazing to me.
Oh, listen, anybody who's listening to the show whose friends are having trouble seeing the show, it is because of our bad start. So what you need to do is tell them to hit the refresh button on the Facebook page, and the new video will pop up, the live video that we're on now. If they're on the old one and they're just waiting for it to start, it won't without you hitting refresh. So thank you, Michelle, for telling me that. That's all she has to do.
Then they get to see our smiling faces talking about heart, body, mind, soul, and spirit, and how it all
Right.
works in conjunction.
Right.
Because it really does. If there's an energy block in your body, and that's why Nora and I are so serious about our Donna Eden energy medicine and doing as much as we can ourselves and keeping up with the professional clearings, because we do so much transferring of energy through ourselves. And we want to make sure nothing gets stuck that shouldn't be there,
Hmm.
because that we're just as much at risk as you guys are, and that's why we talk about it so much, because our only defense basically is a higher vibration which we get from praying and doing deeds that we feel are good for the planet, for the people that we love, and for people we don't know. You know, whether you go through the toll booth and you're paying cash and you just give them an extra toll for the guy behind you, and you just tell them, just this is for the car behind me. And it gets them totally baffled. I do it every once in a while, even though I have the little easy pass thing. And the lady goes, "You've got an easy pass." I'm like, "Yeah, today I do." And she just like gets so baffled. And I'm just like, it's just fun. I miss talking to the tellers. I do. So if you do things like that, if you get like little scratch and wins and keep them in your purse for people that just, you're going to give the waitress a tip anyhow. So you give her $1 scratch and win plus her tip. It just makes them giggle.
It's
It's,
little acts of kindness.
yeah,
You know, some
random acts.
random acts. My friend Karen, who occasionally jumps on the show too, has done that for years and years, and she'll always have $1 bills in her pocketbook, so she could just kind of roll them up and stick them in between products in the supermarket aisle. And it's like somebody finds $1 just sticking there, or $2, and she'll often do it on the lower level so a child finds it. And just simple things like that, little acts of kindness. And she like, I don't want a person to thank me. I just wanted to be there for them. I mean, that's really being humble, because she's doing it for them to have joy, not for them to turn around and say, oh, thank you,
Right.
which is phenomenal. Oh, Dave, welcome on board, Dave. Chris, I
Hi,
had
Dave.
a session with Elena 2 weeks ago, the day after I wiped out and slept most of the day. What happened? David, that happens to all of us. If you go see Elena and you're in this area, we call it getting stoned by Elena, because you get so stoned, you're knocked out for at least a day.
I tell everybody, bring your own water, bring your own snack. You're going to need it just to drive home. And some of them are like, hey. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of how it is. I like her chair, and I'm like, do I have to leave? Just tell them to go away. I've moved in. And she's like, you can't. I got a client.
I
Come
never
on.
want to get out of her chair. I never want to get
I
out of it.
just want to like, and if she puts that big fuzzy blanket area, it's like, I'm out cold.
Yeah, you're done. So, Dave, it was totally normal. Totally, totally normal. When you see Chris at the reef, you have to get more detail as to what might have gotten cleaned out. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, I like what Erin says when she gives random compliments. She gets told that she's creepy.
That's okay.
That's all right. Do it anyway. It's nice. All right. Truth be told, I was complimenting a mother on her beautiful little girl, and my husband said, okay, that was a tad creepy. So it was her husband who said it. Yeah, don't worry about it. Nothing wrong
That's
with that.
okay. Mothers are
Um,
used to being heard that their children are beautiful, or you can see the light around them,
Yeah.
because they don't walk through life not knowing. They've been told before. They're used to it. They just don't know what to say because they don't either always see it, or they just get told by so many people. They just figure it's a fact, and they don't know why they can't see it or they don't understand it. Wait till the child gets ready to talk. Then they'll become one of my clients. Miss Chris, they're talking about angels and stuff that I don't know. Don't worry.
Listen, we really want to know who else is having miracles, who else is manifesting what they put out there. Now, I manifested a very high number of counts in my business. Like I'm working on producing X amount of numbers in one section and X amount of numbers in another. And I will tell you, I'm not close to the high numbers I put, but I am a lot closer than I ever would have been because things are clearing out of the way and they're happening. But like Carolina said, I need to look, I need to reflect. Am I holding on? Am I trying to control this too much? Am I not allowing the divine to really take it? Because I'm known to be a little bit of a control freak. And am I
Never.
trying to control how it's to be done with God? Instead of just doing, this is what I'm asking for, this is what I'm manifesting. I am creating XYZ for my business. And then just living my life and focusing and trusting that God's going to move the blocks. Or am I just trying too hard? It's a fine line because I got this great, huge picture on my wall. It says, wake up, say a prayer, and hustle. So, yeah, God expects us when we're manifesting to do our share, to work at it. But there's a fine line between working and hustling and controlling and hustling. That control is what you want to let go of. And that
Mhm.
control, I'm getting extremely good at letting go of. See how I quote myself?
And
So
what she's talking about is what I talked about before, helpful Hannah. Oh, let me help you, God.
mhm,
You
mhm.
need help. I got people telling me all the time, he's pretty good at this stuff. He created the world, remember? I'm like, okay, so he doesn't want my little fingers in his little pie? Yeah, he's thinking you should just back off about 3 steps. Okay.
Evan wants to know if your angels give you songs in your head.
Oh, yeah, all the time.
I hear them sing all often, but not that they necessarily give me a song. I
They
mean,
sing to me, they give me songs, they
we
tell
have a
me,
friend, Barbara, who does the energy work with us, who, when she's working on us, will just break into song. Okay, this is what they're singing. This is what I'm hearing, and the songs always have some kind of meaning for us. It's really amazing.
yep.
So,
And
yeah.
it usually, they're just trying to tell you something.
Hmm.
But song for them is a way to praise God as well.
Yeah.
So their energy and their vibration goes even higher when they're singing. So if they're singing to you, they're trying to either bring you a praise for what you're doing, but also send you a message on how to tailor it. So that's usually when they're starting to sing, is when they want your attention, like in a nice, friendly kind of way. And it means you're usually listening to them, but they got bored of talking, so they sing. And it's usually a higher spiritual vibration of what they need to tell you. So it might not make sense right away, but just let it settle in. And if it doesn't make sense, just ask them for an interpretation in your head or in your heart. And I'm telling you, when you start to get it, the spirit, the heart, the mind, the body, the soul, all in rhythm together, it's like it's like watching a kid write on a chalkboard. You're like, oh, that's all that I was like missing. Okay, thanks.
So I want to know, how are other people doing? Are you stuck? Are you actually seeing how your word in manifesting is making a difference? And what techniques that we've talked about over the last several weeks are actually working for you or not working for you? Is there a statement, an affirmation that you make that you want to put in there? in the feed and let Chris and I say whether or not, yeah, it's spot on or just adjust it a little. Go for it. Let's take advantage of the fact that we're all online right now and we can support each other. So if all right, Michelle's saying, I'm stuck. Tell me how. How are you stuck? Is it in what you're saying? What is it that you're trying to manifest? What are the words you're using? Type it in there. Let us work with you and anybody else. Throw it in that feed because we really can help each other tremendously right now while we still have time.
And just remember, after you manifest or you ask for something and you know you're going to get it, like even before it gets there, I'm like so psyched. I'm like, thanks, guys. Go team. I'm like, I like playing with you guys. I mean, working with you. I'm like, thanks, God. Bye bye.
Okay, first one is Melissa. I've only been doing this half-assed, but I've been
Never.
with a crisp $20 bill in the parking lot when no cars were around. So I'm imagining what's putting in the effort will actually produce. Very exciting. And it's not really effort, it's a way of being. Once you start living your life like this, it's a habit. It's just,
It
you
becomes
know,
natural.
right. It's natural. And that's why I do these crazy, you know, 15, 30-second reminders 3 times a day, just trying to get you guys to form the habit. I don't even care if you don't listen to what I'm saying. As soon as you see that I was up there, it's just a reminder. Oh, let me adjust. This is a new habit I'm forming. So, yeah, keep trying. Dave, I tried to manifest a girlfriend, but nothing was happening yet. What am I doing wrong? Aren't you married?
Might have something to say about that.
Yeah, he's married, isn't he? Maybe
Yeah,
that's why you're not manifesting a girlfriend. His integrity here, Dave.
maybe just a problem with God, you know?
Can't make me laugh. I'm going to start choking all over Facebook.
Have some water, Nora. See, Dave, you're going to kill the host. Raphael, get over there and keep Nora alive, at least for the next 20 minutes.
hmm So who else? Because Michelle, I'd love to know what you're stuck on. I know that Michelle was working on finances, but I don't know exactly. Just trying to see if the stuff really works. That was Dave's excuse for trying to manifest a girlfriend. He just wanted to see if it really works.
Lord, forgive him.
Oh, I swear to God, this show really is a lot of comedy. You guys are good. We're going to get Erin started. I know she's probably thinking of something ridiculous. But all seriousness, that
Finance is a big one for everybody. So the finance, so that people understand you can ask for anything you need. Finance is not you know, a taboo subject in heaven. I call it abundance, you call it finance. However you want to address it, it's all going to come out at the same. So what you want to do is you just want to make sure that your head, your heart, and your spirit are together. Your body's going to follow where your head and heart go, and your spirit and your soul are going to talk. So, do you feel like you're unworthy? Do you feel like you don't deserve it? Are you not sure about where it's coming from? These are the blocks we put in front of us. So, like I tell everybody, you're making an effort. Watch your budget, cut your, do what you can to save money and to, take the leftovers and make them into a meal the next night or something interesting so the kids aren't bored. Anything like that. And that's what we're talking about, doing your part. Now, if you can get, or whatever or if you could, with Nora and I, because we own our own businesses, maybe for us, we have to do more advertising. Maybe we have to, maybe, you know, do some business functions that we wouldn't normally do. Anything like that would be considered doing our part, okay? So if you feel really truly in your heart you did everything you could, then you let go.
mhm.
Ask God to take all these thoughts away from you because they're the stand you to getting what you want. So that's what we say about your heart, your mind. Your mind is very strong, and if you can get all these feelings out of there and just pull them out, put them in a little box and close the box and hand it to God. say, here, these are all the ideas I have, and I don't know where I got them, and I don't want to have them anymore. Here you go. So, and just do the figure 8 and clear your energy field and ask God to heal those thoughts and the places in your mind and to fill them with
Right.
love.
I ha- I want to throw in one thing.
Okay.
Michelle, I want to read what Michelle wrote because this
Okay.
is a very common error, guys.
Okay.
I first thank God for what He blessed me with. Very good. Absolutely do
Right.
that. And then I thank God for the financial assistance He is going to give me. So I start to be financially independent. God, thank you for what you're going to give me is in the future. The future never comes. It can't come. The future is by definition of future always in the out there.
Hmm.
So thank you for the abundance you are giving me now. Thank you for the abundance I receive now. So you're saying the thank you prayer, yes. And then also, hey, thank you for the food that I'm eating. Thank you for everything. Viktor Frankl was a magnificent man. His book, he he was in the concentration camps during the Nazi. He was in a Nazi concentration camp, and I could speak for an hour on everything that man did there. He truly lived the love of God. He treated the guards that were mutilating him with love and dignity. And but the reason why I brought him up was he said, when was able to be thankful for the putrid water in a big pot that had a fish head floating in it, I knew I would be okay. See, you don't wait, you don't want to be thankful for what's going to come. You want to be thankful for what's here now, even if it is a dirty pot of water with a floating fish head in it, because it is that that will bring you the joy and the abundance. You have to appreciate the smallest of things. He knew that disgusting thing would somehow still keep him alive long enough that he would be freed, and the other people in the camp with him. His camp and the people that he was in camp with had more survivors than anywhere else because the way they all started adopting the way Viktor Frankl was living, and he truly was living this kind of thought patterns and speaking. Um, Victor, what if I can think of the name of his book before this is over? I will tell you, and it is not easy read because it's he talks about the horrific things that they've done, but the most powerful thing is what he did with his mind and his thoughts during this. So Michelle, never mind the future, not thank you for what you're going to give me, because that's future. Think of Viktor Frankl, and if all you have in front of you is a half a cup of soup, be utterly grateful for that half a cup of soup and thankful, because that's opening up the floodgates. And that goes right into what Denise says. I'm just laying it out there to the universe and thanking them in advance. And I've received 230 already. So she's just saying, thank you. And listen, thanks for what's coming. Thanks for what's here. Thank you. This is great. Whatever. It's all good. Thank you. Get it? So Denise has gotten $230 out of it, which is fabulous. And you're welcome, Michelle. I see that you got the message. Man's Search for God. Michelle, thank you. Man's Search for God. Viktor Frankl. Don't read it if you don't have a strong stomach. But my God, what a book. Okay, that was my piece. Thank you for letting me go on.
That's all right. You had basically the same point that I had.
Exactly.
Just don't any barriers between what you need and what you want and what you think you're allowed to have, because there are no limits. Just think of yourself as a parent, as a doting parent. What wouldn't you give your child? Even you that don't have children. Is there anything that you wouldn't give the one you love? Not if you had it. You'd be like, sure, here. You want it? You got it. Whether it's a sister, a brother, a niece, a nephew, a husband, whoever it is. I mean, one of my sisters wants my clothes and they can fit into it. Have at it. Go ahead. Knock yourselves out. Not that they, at one point, maybe they could.
Then that goes along with what the that Bible verse that we sent out with the email this week.
Mm-hmm.
That's the very beginning of that verse. It says, God takes care of every grain of grass and every bird. What, and these are just his creatures. We are his children. How much more will he do for you? So, like the birds don't worry about eating, the wheat doesn't worry about growing. And how much, because they just know it's being handled. God's got this. How much more will he do for you? You're his children. And that's really powerful when we accept. I mean, this show is empowerment through intuition. Intuition and spirituality are one in one. You got to make that connection with God, and life starts shifting, and not
Well,
just with manifesting.
it's also easier if you look at it as a father-son, father-daughter relationship, because there isn't anything, that you shouldn't be able to tell your parents. I know most teenagers don't want to hear that, but as you get older in your 20s, you're like, yeah, mom, you never knew that. And I'm like, really? Okay. If you want to believe that. Your father would tell me just to let it go. It wasn't worth the battle. And I'll be like, okay, can I kill him now? No? Okay, thanks. And I
It's
would keep
too
a
late.
really good smile on my face. So it's like whether you think you're seeing it or you're catching the drift of it, you are. You just have to realize, let it go.
Hmm.
Just like as parents, we let the teenagers just let their moods go because it's not worth getting upset about. So you can go back to thinking about the empowerment that you want to pull in and what is it that you really want. A lot of people think it's money because that seems to be the obvious block in the road for almost all of humanity, I think. Even the people that you think have more money want to know, like, what am I going to do with the money? So if you get past money and you think, okay, what else? If I had all the money in the world, what else would I really want? And then it gets really hard to answer those questions. It really does. So think in your spirit, what's really going to make me happy? If they gave me a pile of money, filled up a room full of $100 bills and told me, go ahead, got all the money you could spend in 10 lifetimes. And if you spend it, we'll send more in. So you got all the money. What do you want next?
And
And
that's where the real spiritual connection comes in, I would say.
yes, and that's why I'm saying this, because a lot of people come to me and they do get stuck on money. And I say, okay, manifest a room full of $100 bills, whatever you need. And when it gets down where you actually can see the top of the ceiling again, will just empty another load in. So it's not about if you can spend it fast enough or you can give it away fast enough. It'll always replenish. So what do you really want? And they just look at me dumbfounded. And they're like, I don't know. What what goes past money? And when you start thinking about those issues about love, self-love, spiritual growth, all those touchy subjects nobody wants to talk about, your kids, your family, how they're loved and how they're accepted and how they see you. Let go of the ego. And I always tell everybody, let go and let God, and you'll see it all fall into line.
Hmm.
Because when you guys are extremely sick, now I'm going to pick on Erin because she was the one that was publicly sick here in our little group. Erin had no choices but to do what the doctor said at the rate and pace the doctor said it. She didn't have a choice. It wasn't an option. Her ass couldn't walk. So what's she going to do? Get her little rollerboard out and run away from the doctors? No, because she can't get fixed if she can't walk. So she had to slow down first. She had to take into consideration what her body needed, what her heart wanted, and what her spirit told her she needed to do. So it's frustrating. But when you wipe away all that extraneous energy, you get down to the core of what you really want. And some people will find that it's humanity.
And
and
what
you
she
want to help
really
other
wanted,
people.
she ended up manifesting a beautiful relationship with her biological mom, all out of this.
Hmm.
So, yeah. Um,
You'd be surprised what you're going to get.
we have only a few more minutes, so anybody else have the courage, like Michelle and a few others, put up there what you are saying, what you are manifesting, and give us a chance to read it and tweak it if it needs to be tweaked, and or just as an opportunity to show others how to do it. That will be awesome because we're all helping each other learn here. It's not Chris and I lecturing, it's a community and we learn from each other. And it's the sharing that you guys are doing that's really helping others get it more
Right.
fully. And I appreciate your courage. So, anybody out there, throw something up in the next few minutes before we end.
Well, Nora never did a little commercial break, so she can do
Oh,
it when you
yeah,
guys are
I should
throwing
do our
things in there.
commercial break. In the meantime, while you're thinking of your affirmation, Chris has her beautiful jewelry and stones up. You go to ChristineGurganus.com. There's a little shop here button and it has a little pendulums that we were working with a few weeks ago, about a month ago, plus some gorgeous little jewelry. Of course, you have to get the order in so she can get it to the post office before December 20th if you expect to give it as a gift or you want it for yourself before Christmas. And I have discounted my readings for the month of December. You can have the reading anytime you want. You can schedule it for August, but you have to schedule it before December 31st in order to get the discounted rate.
You have to
And
purchase it before December 31st. You said schedule it.
well, when you schedule on my system, you have to purchase it. So it's kind of one and the same. But thank you for clarifying. Aaron, and if you need a prayer and a shoulder or a hug, message me. I'm always around here and there. Thank you, Aaron. That's kind of you. Becky, I'm manifesting my peeps in my area. My peeps in my area. Nothing financial tied to it, but it could be. I'm manifesting my peeps in my area. I'm not sure.
Her people
Yeah.
in her area of work.
Okay. Well, if you can give us a little bit more, like, what do you say? But that's cool if it's working out. I mean, I hope everything's working out. All right, Shauna, I've been manifesting love, but uh, I'm supposed to be doing something to help my manifestation, but I don't know what to do. I'm so limited. Oh, well, there you go. You just manifested. You're limited. Okay, don't do that. Don't, manifest the words I'm limited. I've been manifesting love. That's a Love is really a total surrender to God kind of thing. I mean, all of it is a total surrender. You can't work at creating love. Um, you can work at being in service to others, and that brings love. What would you say, Chris?
I would also say go through all your past romantic relationships and offer in a meditation their pieces back to them and get
Oh
your
my
pieces
God,
back from
yes.
them. You do an exchange of pieces and you unhook their energy from you
Mhm.
and you unhook their energy from you and you unhook vice versa. And then you just pack it all in a package and give it to God and tell
Yeah,
him these are the thoughts, the feelings, the hurts, the undone things that were just not completed, and ask him to take these pieces and secure your spirit again and your soul, because
that's
that's a big cleanup.
powerful, powerful. Chris and I actually used to do this, and then when we went to California to learn about, helping clear out demons and the like, this was one of the things to actually go and reconnect with, especially ones who you've had any kind of sexual contact with, and tell
If you
them,
can't remember their name, it's okay.
it's okay. Here is the piece of you that you left with me. And I hope I didn't disturb your life by holding on to it. And I accept back the piece of me that was left with you. And I cut these ties now with love and I release you. You got to release all that stuff. very, very great, Chris. Thank you for bringing that up. Shauna, I promise you, do that. And if you need a little bit more instruction on it, message one of us. We'll go through it
Yeah,
with
we'll
you.
help you.
We'll even send you the prayers that are used.
Hmm.
Michelle, I feel like I'm supposed to be doing something to help my manifestation, but I don't know what to do. Again, I'm so limited. Will you people stop with that? I'm so limited? Oh, wait a minute. I might have mixed her up with Shauna when I said the I'm so limited. My eyes are going all over with the feed. I apologize. Anyway, stop using the words I'm so limited, guys, because that does limit you.
That puts you in a box.
Yeah. Michelle, the exactly what we were saying about being grateful for what you have in this moment and accepting God in to just keep on giving. Keep on giving, Lord. Don't let my limitations get in the way. I release my limitations to you, and I accept only wonderful, beautiful love flowing through you to me. That's simple, guys.
Well,
That's simple.
I'll tell you the visualization I do. I love waterfalls, and I think they're made of God by God. So in my idea of abundance, I just stand in the waterfall and I put my face up to the sun and I thank him for all the beauty he empowers through the world to me. And I tell him, just turn on all the faucets, God. I'm ready for the abundance from now to the end of time. And I just tell him, bring it on. Thank you. And I'm telling you, little things pop up in my email or I'll get little presents in the mail. It's really fun.
I so messed this up. Shauna, I am so sorry. So I read Shauna's name and then I read what Michelle said. Shauna is actually doing phenomenal. She says, I've been manifesting love. I'm having people come out of the woodworks I didn't mean to manifest. It's powerful stuff.
Oops. Oops. They're giving you lots of choices, Shauna.
That's beautiful. But still, Shauna, do what we said about, and anybody, do that.
Right.
Anybody, especially if you had any kind of sexual relationship, there
You want to
really
clear
is.
that energy out.
There really is a soul connection that you want to properly disconnect and bring back the pieces. Thank you, Renee. Awesome tonight. Let God, let go and let God. People, Nora, mediumship. All right, that's Becky. I'm really confused
Oh,
with that.
she's trying to call in more people to work with her on mediumship, like so she can work with them.
Oh, awesome. 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 Okay. Good. Keep it up. Hopefully it works great. It will work great. Never mind this hopefully stuff. Of course it will. Aaron, I was wondering why she was manifesting little Easter and Christmas candy
Peeps.
peeps. Trying for clarity.
Leave it to
Okay.
Erin. Erin
All
must
right.
have already taken her medicine for the night.
It is group. All right. Guys, we are going to sign off. There's a whole bunch of course, you all get chatty at the end, but we've already gone over our time. So one more time, quick commercial. Shop at ChristineGurganus.com or give a reading or get a reading at a discount from me at IntoIntuition.com. In the meantime, we will see you, I guess, one more time before Christmas, right?
Yep. But I'm
Oh,
also doing gift certificates. We'll
oh,
do readings by gift
yeah.
certificates if you want. You can give it as a gift.
Yep. I have the same option, but you do have to email me for that. Renee, I need to be locked in a room for a week with Chris. I learned so much from her. That is so true. I understand. Good night, everybody. Thank you
Good
so much
night.
for joining us. We love you and
We thank you for joining us and talking with us, sharing.
have a wonderful night. God bless.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Night, Nora.
Good night, sweetie. Now let's see if we can log out. And now.